All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, before I begin, I'd like to give our praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and head apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. Shalom to the hopeful elect out there that scatter abroad in the four corners of the earth. This is Brother Michael come with you again with another live lesson. And Lord willing, this will be edifying straight to the point. And pretty much in this setting, I have pretty much want to expound on the time of Jacob's trouble, which pretty much when that time now. That time is pretty much being activated. Okay, and you can pretty much see the process of that being manifested by the way of the ice, gunning people down, ramming into people's homes, snatching people out of their homes and stuff. This is only the beginning of the stages of Jacob's trouble. And as time goes on, things is going to get a lot worse. Things are going to increase and intensify. All right, which pretty much this right here was sparking off. You know what I'm saying? It's the beginning stages of the evil times that we for the approach upon the planet Earth. Okay, so we're in a time where the so-called blessed expanse and native Indians to go through their trials and tribulations. Okay, because Esau, the so-called white man, he's for to come down having great wealth. The Lord's going to put the spirit on him to come down having great wealth. Okay, on the so-called blessed Spanish native Indians. But the ones that's going to be saved out of this time of trouble is the Lord's elect. Okay, those that be found written in the book, which means those that be found worthy to escape. Okay, so real quick, let's start off here. In the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, I'm going to start at verse 4. It says, "And these are the words that the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Ashai spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah." And Judah is southern kingdom. All right. It says, "For thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Ashai, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace." Yeah, because we could come to some very bad evil times, man. Ain't no more peace coming upon planet Earth, man. Okay, only evils behold is calm, and all you people out there that's in that spirit of peace and safety, the evils, okay, and bad times are gonna come upon you suddenly, man. Okay, it's gonna pop up on you. You're gonna be caught with your pants down because your people don't consider, the ways of the Lord. Okay, y'all people, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, disobey the Most High laws, statutes, and commandments willfully, because most of you know about the truth, but choose to live how you want to live and not according to how the Most High wants you to live. And essentially, these things that the Lord have down the pipeline to bring upon planet Earth is going to be for your destruction. Okay? So let's read on. It says, verse 6, "Ask ye now, and see whether a man do travail with child." And we know the answer today is no, a man do not travail with child. It says, "Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and our faces are turned into paleness." Yeah, so fear is gonna come upon these men, okay, in these latter days, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. You men who think you hard, you tough, you gangster, your Pookie, your Ray Ray, your man, okay? You're gonna be like women in the days we are going to, man, because it could be some heavy times, okay? And the only ones that are gonna be comforted in these times is the Lord's elect. Okay, so let's read on in verse 7. It says, Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And what does it mean, but he shall be saved out of it? Was that he is going to the elect, okay, of the nation of Israel. And this time is going to contribute to a time like none other, as you can consider the Atlantic slave trade. That time is going to be very light compared to this time, okay? So this lets you know there's going to be a very, very bad time, okay? That's for the come upon the face of the world. See, you know, Esau, the so-called white man, he's going to come down having great wrath, okay, upon you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, man, okay, because pretty much, you know, the reason behind these things happening in the world, you know, it always a build up to the end, you know, from the earthquakes from the uproars of the people, okay, from the teeth of wild beasts, you know, from the food shortages was contributing to the famine, so on and so forth. It all to build up to the end. Which, you know, you go into a word, you know, end, you know, the end is synonymous with Esau, the so-called white man. And they could be proven in the book of Second Ezra, the 6th chapter, around the 9th verse. Okay, where it basically goes in detail for how Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Okay. This devil know that his end is near, the end of his rulership. You know, him being in the rulership seat is near. Okay. And that's why he would come down having great wrath, which pretty much these devils is planning on to bring down as many people with him because he don't want to face destruction on his own because these devils know they're going to be destroyed. Okay. You can consider the golden dome that the government's setting up, you know, to keep missiles from coming out here. So you know they know about World War III. You know they know about Yahweh Shah and the chariots. That's why they try to come up with all these high technical devices. You know what I'm saying, to fight against the Lord, but it's not going to withstand. Because when Yahweh Shah come back, things are going to be zapped to powder. Okay, by them chariots. Okay, and things are going to be melted with fervent heat by the thermonuclear missiles. All right. So that was times we figure it come into. Okay. But the time is already beginning. Jacob's trouble. Okay. So let's go here to the book of Second Ezra, chapter 15, and verse 1. It says, Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. And yeah, and these are the words of prophecies that you people hearing. You know, you so-called blessed Spanish name any. You are the Lord's people. Okay. And the Lord gave straight the commandment to his prophets to speak the words of prophecies in your ears, man. Okay. And in verse 2 it says, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Yeah, so these words, okay, the prophetic prophecies that's written in scriptures, you know, they are faithful and true, and you see them come to pass now, you see them being activated. All right. And let's read in verse 3. It says, Fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. Yeah, so we are not to be worried or troubled about you know what I'm saying, your unbelief. Because you know you got a lot of unbelievers amongst Israel. Okay. It's gonna cost you your life in these little days, man, by the way of the prophetic events that the Lord got in store. Okay. So let's read on in verse 4. It says, For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness, and that's the outcome of being unfaithful. For being a non-believer, you're gonna die in your unfaithfulness, man. Okay, and we in a time where the Lord's for to bring forth heavy judgment, and once He brings that judgment, He's gonna begin at His house. Okay, what's meaning He's gonna begin with you Israelites. Okay, who knowing they're Israelites but choose to be rebellious against the Most High. All right. In verse 5, it says, Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. And these things are going to pretty much take place very soon, man. You know, you got a lot of death already taking place in the world by many various events. Okay. And pretty much, you know, as time goes on, that death rate is going to increase. Okay. And there's a reason why the Most High bring these things forth upon the planet Earth. It says in verse 6, For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. See? So is wickedness going on, man. Especially here in America, Babylon the Great, man. This place promotes nothing but straight wickedness. Okay, anything that's contrary to the ways of the Lord, America promotes it. And that's why this place gets to be destroyed, man. Okay? That's why these prophecies for the take place. Okay, for this place to be utterly destroyed, man. Cause Lord, He for smite America with plagues, man, right before it be destroyed. All right. So get something else real quick. Let's go here to the book of Revelation. Chapter 18 and verse 8. It says, Therefore shall her plagues come in one day. And it's hers referring to as America, Babylon the Great. It says, Death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burnt with fire. See? So America's going to be plagued, man, by the plagues of the Most High. And America's going to be utterly burnt with fire. And that process is going to happen through the thermonuclear missiles, man. Okay? That's going to be shot from the four winds of the earth during the time of World War III. And on the same day of Yahweh shall return, when He come back with them chariots. And them chariots are going to do damages as well. You know, the laser beams from the chariots, you know, they're going to zap things into powder and zap people into powder. Okay? It says, For strong is the Lord power who judgeth her. And Yahweh Bahashim Yashai, He's going to allow these things to happen. Because ain't nothing but straight wickedness being promoted here in America in these little days. Okay, and you so-called Black, Hispanics, and Indians, you know what I'm saying? You be found conformed to this place in a kind of fashion way. When your Howard shot come back, you're going to be destroyed right along with this place. And right now, you know, Esau, the so-called white man, he's on a mission. He's on the move, you know, pretty much getting his New World Order junk going. Okay, that C-hip, that corruption that you people been told about for years. Okay, and he's gonna cause as many people to fall with him. He's gonna promote it to people, and people gonna you know, fall into his trap. You know what I'm saying? Cause it'll be a time to where you ain't gonna be able to buy or sell or participate in society unless you have that thing, that C-hip. And people gonna be thinking about themselves. People gonna be thinking about how they're gonna provide for their family, how they're gonna be living indoors, how they're gonna work to get money, and they go sell out. You see, but then those gonna be the ones who was never with the Most High. They was never with Yahweh Shai. Okay, because the only one that's really not going to take that corruption, man, is the Lord's elect, man. Okay, the true believers. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to take that corruption. All right. Even if it means for them to get put to death, man. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be faithful unto death. Okay, the Lord's chosen ones is not going to take that corrupt. Because we in a time where it's going to be very well known who the Most High's chosen. Matter of fact, let's get some real quick. In second Ezra chapter 16. And I'm starting at verse 70. It says, "For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord." Yeah, and pretty much you seeing this pretty much begin to activate now, man. You know, Esau's gonna come in like a madman. You know what I'm saying? Casting people out of their houses, taking away their goods, and you seeing that happen now with ICE. That lets you know that hey, scriptures is spot on, prophecy is spot on. Jacob's trouble is here. Okay, because they really, targeting for the so-called black Spanish name Indians right now. You know what I'm saying? They working on the so-called Hispanics. Okay, and they working around invading the Haitians. And pretty soon it's gonna be it's gonna boil all the way down to so-called blacks, so-called Negroes. Okay. Um, it says in verse 72, "For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses." And what that sound like to you? What been going on with ICE? You know what I'm saying? Kicking in folks' doors, snatch them out of their houses, and they passing bills and laws to go to house, okay, to invade people's homes. And this gonna come to everybody, you know what I'm saying? Every neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, very soon. A city near you very soon. Okay. When this thing fully be activated, you know, and as you could consider that famine, you know, when nobody had food in days, or however long the Lord gonna allow that famine to happen, people gonna be killing one another, invading one another for the lack of bread and for great tribulation. See? So yeah, things will get real out here. But it's ultimately a big test from the Lord to see who are his chosen, which brings me right here to verse 73. It says, "Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire." Yeah. So it's gonna these times that we going into, you know what I'm saying, when we go into Jacob's trouble, it's gonna really show who are the most high's chosen, man. When Esau, the enemy, come down having great wrath, okay, the elect is not gonna fold under pressure. The elect is gonna be faithful unto Yahweh Bahashim Yahshua. They're gonna pass the test. The Lord is for the brain forth. And the major big test, besides other prophecies, you got on teeth of wild beasts for the coming to pass. You got the other worlds of people coming to pass. Okay. You got the famine coming to pass. And as well, the MOTB. That's the major test that the Lord is for the brain forth. And that right there going to prove who are the real and who are the fake. Because a lot of people saying they love the Lord now. But how much so when that sea help device be brought forth, be placed in the situation to where you might have your head up under the guillotine and if it closed down on you. Is you gonna still be faithful unto the Lord, or is you gonna sell out. Or you could be in a situation to where you gotta make a decision if you go take that sea help to provide for your family, food and shelter. Okay, these things for to happen, man. We in that time and generation. Okay, where the Lord's for the brain for the squeeze. Okay, but keep in mind the Lord, He know those that trust in Him, and He gonna build a strong tower unto those that fully trust in Him, man. In these last days, when the enemy come in, what I'm saying, like a flood, the Lord is gonna lift up a standard against him, man. Okay, the Lord is gonna do that for the elect. Okay, lift up a standard against the enemy. Okay, which is Esau, the so-called white man. All right, cause the elect, what I'm saying, they gonna be the ones they gonna trust in the Most High. Okay, and that's why the Lord's gonna build a strong hold in a defense to the elect, cause they trust in Him. Matter of fact, let's end it off right here in the book of Nahum, chapter 1, verse 7. It say the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yashai is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble. See? And he knoweth them that trust in him. And that's who the Lord's gonna be a stronghold to in the days of trouble. Which, is you consider Jacob's trouble, you know what I'm saying? The ones that trust in the Lord, you know what I'm saying, for deliverance, okay, and for protection, that's who the Lord's gonna take care of. Because that's who the Lord's gonna remember in them days of trouble. Okay, Jacob's trouble definitely be a heavy time, for the so-called blessed Spanish Navy Indians. Now, all of us as a whole, what I'm saying, gonna have to face that time, but it gonna be certain ones that's gonna be preserved, okay, during that time, from things that pretty much 2/3 of the nation of Israel had to go through, okay. Cause pretty much that's who was sent around for the wicked of the nation of Israel. Okay, the ones who rebel against the Most High willfully, who scoff and buck up against the Heavenly Father. The Lord got Jacob's trouble just in store for you. Okay, when Esau be turned up, you know what I'm saying. When the Lord put the spirit on Esau to turn up and get down, He gonna come. You know what I'm saying. He gonna make sure you 2/3, what I'm saying, get what you deserve. Okay. But the ones that's gonna be preserved on this side, okay, and make it through these times, these hard, devastating times that the world's for the face, is the Lord's elect. All right, so with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. And as always, I want to give our praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and head apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. Shalom to the hopeful elect out there that's scattered abroad and the folk on the earth. Till the next time I say shalom.